good to get some crippled people walking up this there.
I've only ever had one. This neural physiotherapist in Brisbane's recommended you come and have a chat to you. I said okay. Anyway, so it's kind of thing of went to get diagnosed, and all of a sudden you've got this burden of shit.
Same, and he's on a post too, because I noticed the wall sort of restricted me a little bit. Yeah, and just so I was playing with a leg driver of here, and I was playing with an arm driver of here, and then I started to think. And I'll do this while I was in a sauna thinking about this, right? And I was like, what's if you're trying to like find a driver, say if someone's faultier from the arm being a driver, or the hip being a driver, is there one that comes first, if that makes sense? You know what I mean? Like in relationship to most, is it just you would go to where they're worst at, basically?
Great question.
Yeah, I was wondering that, or is it simulating the gait? Because if this hip's forward, then this adduct, like I'm wondering if the driver is initiating from the rib cage, which is what the arm's representing, or the hip, which is what the leg would be representing in gait. If that makes sense, right?
No, I'll find that picture for you. I'll leave that there.
Okay, go.
Ask yourself the question: where can they move from?
Yep. So where are they moving from? Well,
where can they move from?
Yeah.
Right. People come in here and I don't do an assessment, and that's not because I don't believe in assessments. I really do. But when we assess them and get information, most people get lost.
Yeah.
Right. I've got a tight adductor. I've got a tight, external rotator. Whatever.
Yeah.
We get lost. Okay, what do? I go and try and get that external rotator to externally rotate because that's what we get taught, right?
Yeah. But it can't do.
But it can't do. And you go, well, shit. What do I do now?
Yeah.
So you've got to sort of say to myself, okay, let's work with what people can do, not with what they can't do.
Yeah.
So if I can take something now and says something that the body needs, which is motion, but just like you were doing there, you were doing it as a sports person, right? Because you were driving with speed.
Yeah.
So now let's take the tissues back and look at how the tissues move. If we look at nerve, muscle, bone, fascia, skin, as a combo, not as an individual segment, but as a combination, and then you've got blood and you've got lymph, right? So those first 5 tissues have got 70% of moisture in them, water, that is converted to various gels and so forth, right? Water goes through 4 transitions. And in fact, it goes into H3O2, not just H2O, as it transforms into these gels, as the collagen absorbs it to give it the lubrication, right? So what's interesting about that is that tissue, that human being that you've got in front of you, that tissue inside them is saying, are you trying to hurt me or are you trying to help me? So if I do that, that's speed. That's a lot of force. That's not bad, that's not good, that's just force. Just imagine if I had a saying, which I do, if you can't run slow, you can't run fast. Right, so if I can't get someone to come into this position, then how can I get them into a position with force? So maybe if we go to that position, rather than locking that down and saying, okay, I'm going to make that a shorter lever, I might even open that lever up to where they're comfortable. Now I know through the fascial lines, through Thomas Myers' brilliance, that all of a sudden that knee connects directly to this humerus, and in fact it connects right then into my hand. So I might just now get them to stand where they're comfortable, and I might now just get them to start to rotate their hips. Now, this could be the driver, the chest could be the driver, the toe could be the driver. Really, it doesn't matter what the driver is, it matters what's the motion like. Can I get motion in the tissue? Because now if I think about it, I do a sit and I do a reach. And every time I sit, I wring the tissues out, and every time I stand up, I suck the moisture back in. And then, as I'm wringing the tissue out and I'm sucking the moisture in, I'm getting that hydration. I'm getting that lubrication to come back in. So all of a sudden the tissue's going, that's what you want me to do. That's where we want to go. You're not trying to hurt me, you're trying to help me.
So it's sort of the analogy how you were holding Jake's hand, right? And
bingo. I just need to get that slide and glide, because every bit of tissue has to slide and glide. Right? Really important. Okay?
That's cool.
Can I shift? Because the hardest part for a dumbbell in that situation is to break inertia.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're in a position where someone's going to take you out,
yeah.
but the position's your strength if you've got the ability to resist the force.
Yeah.
So if I know that I can put my pelvis now into a position where it moves three-dimensionally, whether you're a surfer, a bodyboarder, a footballer, MMA, if I can come into this position now and I'm connected through my feet, it doesn't matter what position I'm in, I'm strong.
Why? We're always in this position playing guard and playing things like that, or we're wrestling.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's really, but I just can't seem to figure out why everyone's wearing knee braces and...
So here's my question. What do we consider the knee to be?
Joint?
Yeah. And primarily, a joint that does what?
Rotates.
Well, we know it rotates.
Yeah, true. But most people think it just goes...
It's a hinge joint,
in
right?
sagittal plane.
And we would tell you that's a dumb joint, right?
Yeah.
It's a joint of no real significance. Yet I'm of the belief now, as I said to you last week, and today we're going to play with this a little bit, we're going to prove it, that we have these bony structures, right? And we now know there's research that shows that the bony structures produce osteocalcin, which is a hormone that fight, flight, freeze, or faint.
Yeah.
So you as a bodyboarder, you as an Aussie Rules player, you know, you as a world-class surfer, you guys know that when you're in a situation, if whatever my joint is the weakest, is the joint that lets me down, right? Now,
Yeah, your hips.
Yeah.
where do you move from?
Hips.
Where do you move from?
Your head.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Depending upon where you are, you move from everywhere, right? Like you tell me, like as a bodyboarder, you've been in the perfect position every time. No, you've been in a position where you've gone, shit, I've got to do something here to change out of this and get into the next wave. You're the same. You know that when you've been on a guy who's got this amazing leap that you've had to shift your weight. Now that shift might come from your knees.
Yeah.
All the time it does, actually.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
And it's the smallest movement, right? It's that 1 mil that gives you a big shift.
Yeah.
Like people try and become robotic, they become rigid in what they do to get better strength.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
You've got to have that pliability, right?
Yeah.
If we've got that pliability, now we've got the ability to adapt, take on force and shift it. This, hop over there on the floor. All I want to do, mate, now stand up. We're going to go down on the floor, but we can't touch the floor with our hands. And we've got to roll and stand up. So you watch me, you let me go back. So you go back first. So all I'm going to do is I've got to be able to get down and get up. Right, now I've got 7-year-olds who do this.
Yeah.
Right, now we're going to do it together. So get down. Up you come. That's it. So I can start to use this to now help him up, help me down, right?
Yep.
So now you've got to go to the opposite side. So if you went down your right knee, now you've got to go on your left knee, or your left side.
But there's no right or wrong way to go down.
There is no right or wrong way to go down. Just don't touch your hands. Good. So you go back. So all you're really doing is keeping tension in the system.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're trying to do with the body? What we're going to go to the floor,
Yeah.
and as you go to the floor, keep the tension. So go back a bit further, keep the tension on the cable, because this is no different to what you're doing here. You're helping me stabilise by keeping the tension, right?
Yeah.
So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
Now you can roll, you can spin. I might say, okay, I want you to roll over.
Yeah.
I want you to roll back. I want you to come up.
Cool.
Oh, nice! No, now no hands. Can't get the hands on the carpet. Roll back. Good. And up you come. So you move better from here because that's what you do.
Yeah, that's like the most natural.
Yeah. But now go down and roll the other way.
So roll up. This
Yeah.
way. So.
Because we don't unravel, right?
Yeah.
We go into our patterns. Yeah.
You do a fair bit of that bodyboarding too.
Yeah.
So it's in. Perfect. Now let your arms come straight over your head. Let your legs straighten out.
Yep.
Good. I want you now to take your right leg over. Yep. Take it now. Just gently take it over. Bend the knee. Take it over. Now keep your shoulders on the floor. Good. Take your right leg over till it touches the floor. Beautiful. What do you feel?
A lot of tension in the left thoracic.
Beautiful. Now what I want you to do is I want you to bend that knee up towards your chest a little. There you go. And gently take your knee down a smidgen for me. And now let it come back. And then take it down and let it go back. and let it go down, and let it go back. Now straighten your arms. That's it, now let the shoulders go. So isn't it amazing? I can put you on the floor, not touch you, use your knee, your foot as the, whatever the movement may be, a drive if you want to call it that, and I can start to thoracically mobilise what your body's doing. More importantly, you can feel the body temperature now going up. Feel how your left arm's bent, not straight.
Yeah.
Have a rest.
Yeah, that's good.
Now,
Okay.
so start over here, go the other way again. Don't think, just hum. There we go. That's okay, perfect. Because that position you got into then, that's a beautiful position now to understand what the pelvis has to do.
Yeah, okay.
Right, because now that's, we would say, oh, it's a bad position for the knee. No, it's not. Yeah. It actually opens the knee up. Can you go there? Go back. Beautiful. That's okay, it's okay. But see, don't judge it.
Yeah.
Go back again. Don't judge it. Just play with it, mate. Remember, all we're doing is playing. It's not about a right or a wrong. It's not about a good or a bad. It's just, let's see what the body can do. Down you go. Now, pull through the handle. Pull through the handle as you come over. Yep, good. So that's going to give you the, there we go. That's going to give you the temp. There we go. Go back again. Put some tension back into that cable. Get. Attaboy. Remember, this is no different to me putting my hand into a wall. It's no different to me trying to palm someone off. It's no different to me standing on a board. Use the force that's coming in.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I felt better.
Yeah.
Falling a bit harder,
Yeah.
And yeah, just go on with that.
You just go with it, because that's what happens in life, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, lay down flat.
A moving shot makes you feel like you're in the room.
Okay.
We're just talking about
Yeah.
it up here.
It's there if you want. Is how do I understand how these tissues connect? Well, I reckon the easiest way is to always let people either experience it or show it. So what I want to do here, Jakey, can you put your, and we'll do it this way.
Yep.
Can you put your foot on the rubber band so your toes are on the end and you're facing that way?
Right foot?
Doesn't matter. You pick a foot, mate. Beautiful. So we would say, typically what we're seeing there is the plantar fascia, the sole of the foot, the tissue that runs from the toes to the heel. And what we would typically say is that tissue is, the plantar fascia is one muscle.
Yeah.
But what we now know through the brilliance of some of these guys around the world is when we start looking at cadavers and looking at the flesh and we turn the scalpel from vertical to horizontal, we start to find lines. And the guys in the States, Thomas Myers, these sorts of guys, they started to identify how tissues didn't stop and start, they actually continued down. And in fact, if you lift your heel up, it runs, put your heel down, it runs to the outside of the heel. So it's kind of interesting because now that plantar fascia runs around the outside of the heel, up through the up around the calcaneal, the bone, up into the calcaneal, the Achilles tendon, up into the gastrocs. So we've got the toes to the knee that actually connect. Now it's kind of funny because if I pull on that band, you can feel how the pressure's on the outside of the heel.
Yes.
Right? So if I put pressure on that and you're in gait, it'd probably want to drive it in, right? Yeah. So it runs up into the back of the knee where it actually holds hands with the hamstring and then migrates up to the sacrotuberous ligament.
Yeah.
From the sacrotuberous ligament, it then runs across up through the erectors, from the erectors up through the splenius capitis, and from the splenius capitis now it runs over the cranium and attaches into the eyebrow ridge. Now you hold that piece of rubber, mate. And you don't look like a dickhead, it's just a lovely look.
I feel like the superficial backline.
So it's forward. It's kind of interesting because where does he bend from first?
Hip.
Right, so a lot of people want to bend from here or they want to bend from here, but realistically, if I looked at this line of tissue, we would start to say, wow, we don't have hamstrings and gastrocs and erectors. We've got a line of tissue that's designed to share the force, to share the motion. So if I got now, Jake, and I said, Jake, pretend there's a pin that runs through your hips, and I get you to hinge at the hips, and I take you over, you now start to feel the tissue have to lengthen, right?
Yeah.
So just imagine if I flattened your back, beautiful, and I kept your head there, I straightened your legs, and I took your hips forward but straightened your legs more. Now, where do you feel the tension in your body?
Back, like behind the knee.
Absolutely screaming here. What about the tension under here?
Yeah, I can feel it. It's like pins and needling in the feet.
Beautiful. So what we now understand is that if we're not connected big toe, little toe and heel when we're doing squats, so in other words, when we come up and stand up, if I said do a squat now but drive your knees past your toes and sit back and hinge, no, as in, yeah, that's it. Now, how's that feel?
It feels a lot better.
Feels strong, right? Because now you've got this lovely mitigation of stress. So everything's working together. But those knees have to drive forward so we get the forefoot to engage so that all of the tissue takes the stress, not some of it.
Yeah.
Why? Because the body's designed to cheat best in rotation.
Yeah, okay. So
we've got to have rotation every time we move. And the reason why I didn't have two is because I don't want to crowd that thoracic spine. I want to give it movement. I want to give it the ability to be able to rotate so it connects into the pelvis and it connects into the feet.
Is a reference for your brain gait? Is that the reference?
Rhythm and timing is probably my reference. Because everything has to have rhythm.
Yeah.
When we see people at ease in efficiency, it's rhythmical.
Yeah.
Right? When you see someone throw, catch, run, twist, turn, when you see someone get off the mat and you go, how the hell didn't they injure themselves? It's because they've been able to dissipate the force, use the force as an energy and keep going. So when I do this, all I'm looking for here is the ability to be able to let my body move. There we go. Now that's it. Now you'll feel your toes.
Yeah. I can feel like I can start playing with ways to take the torsion out of my right knee. I don't feel the torsion in my right knee. Yeah.
Beautiful. And
yeah. And you wonder where it gets.
Where does it find, correct,
Yeah.
Where does it find more stability from?
Yeah.
Well, then we have to become rigid somewhere.
Yeah.
And remember, rigidity is the enemy of motion.
Yeah.
So if I take my hands to my gut, and I use that as a superficial back line, and I say, that's my toes, and this is my forehead, this is my eyebrow ridge, and that line is fully loaded. As soon as my toes come up, now I've still got tension through it, but not as much tension as I have if my toes stay down.
Yeah, so I'm losing that.
I'm losing that tension, right?
Yeah.
So
Fuck, we only just started hanging out.
don't worry, I'll be coming back along
Yeah.
a lot of
I'll
times.
just give us another place to go hang out.
We'll send,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
send you a shirt.
Okay. Balloon. Put this on the setting that I had for him. Even weight distribution on your feet. I want you to relax through here, relax your butt, and I want you to let your knees go forward and your butt come back to me. Knees go forward and butt comes back to me. Knees go forward and butt comes back to me. Butt comes back to me. Beautiful. What's just happened to your back?
Felt like a lengthening.
Yeah, it's just opened up, right? Now, if I just gently open these knees a smidgen more, now what's happened here?
Getting my lateral lines.
Beautiful. Now I've got this lovely tissue through the rib cage. Once again, narrow part of the river. Now you can feel that's 50 hertz going through your body. Relax your quads, let your butt be the anchor. Now you're creating this lovely loading through the spine. You're creating space in the spine. You're creating a flaring in the hips. And now you're feeding 6 Gs of force through the body. So the body's going, wow, I've got 6 times my body weight going through there.
I can feel where I need work too. I can feel right here. There's something in that lateral line that's like a compression.
And it might be
a kink in the line.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a kink.
Yeah.
And it might not even be the lateral line. It might be more the functional back line, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just a line of tissue. It's an intersection of tissue that we've got to get to change.
Yeah.
Just grab those handles inside through here. Perfect. Now take your feet out wide. Perfect. Now big toe, little toe, heel.
Yep. Big toe, little toe here.
Notice where this always wants to go. It always wants to go down. So that's it. So up your stand. Now, up your stand. So all we're going to do, up you come. Breathe. Let your knees go forward and let your butt come back. Butt come back, butt come back, butt come back, butt come back. So you can see where he went there, Callan. He wanted to go to his lower back, right? So up you come again, up you come again, up you come again. Now, Don't tell your body where to go. Yep. Let your knees go forward and let your butt just come away from your hands. Knees go forward, knees go forward. Ah, that's better. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now let your quads relax. Beautiful. And let these just now, nice and easy. Let this now get heavy. Let this be the anchor, and now you're opening up all of these ribs through here. You're getting the fascial tissue to get that space that it needs, the hydration, the lubrication. Now if you wanted to, you could just gently go left, and you could just gently go right. And you can see he's moving from here, not just from here, he's not wiggling his tail, right? So all of a sudden now I'm taking all of this tissue really subtly and I'm getting that beautiful motion through the body.
At a festival,
Come on. Touch down here, get it? Touch down here, get it? Right? Yep. And just let your body react to it, right? Perfect, good. Beautiful. Stop. So the forces are going that way, right? Forces drive that way. His knees now have to negatively accelerate because they don't decelerate, they're always accelerating because they're moving, right? His knees have to negatively accelerate there, take the ball and now break inertia and come back. So where's the force? Where's the most force?
Maybe that left hip.
Potentially. But if we've conditioned him well, where's the most force? Nowhere, right?
Distributed, yeah.
Because it's just now the body's just shifting it.
Yeah.
If I've got a surfer, if I've got a bodyboarder, if I've got an MMA, where's the most force? If I throw a punch here and he gets that arm up, so I come in here and I come up here, bang, and he gets that arm up, he's actually using that force that's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I come up here, that actually, bang!
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do I take the force, sling it back, and give it back?
Yeah.
So that now becomes a rhythm.
That's a good point, yeah.
That becomes a rhythm of how we use that to become stronger, and why the knees don't blow out anymore when we're doing jai or whatever, right? Yeah. But we don't condition people like that. We let this drive down. Now, the important thing that we've learned today is big toe, little toe, heel. No matter where I go, I want to be over big toe, little toe, heel.
Yeah,
okay? So I'm going to step, stack, sweep. Step, stack, sweep. Now, do this for me. Slow it down. Can't do it slow, can't do it fast. Beautiful. That's the hard thing, right? Now, come on, what I want to do is I want to let that knee come forward. Knee come forward. There we go. Knee come forward. And let your butt sit back.
Oh, yeah.
Now, can you start to feel this?
Yeah, I can feel it all sort of...
Beautiful. Now we start,
the hamstrings sort of engaged.
Yeah, everything engages, right? Step, stack, sweep. Good? Because if I stuck that there, beautiful, Riles, have a rest. Riles, come here, mate. So, but it's that whole thing though, right? Look, you're strong, I've just got to connect your strength now.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Because that's where your confidence comes from, that's where your decision-making process comes from, that's where your ability to be efficient comes from.
Yeah. That's huge. I have to incorporate that.
So, step, stack, but it's kind of cool, right? So remember, can't run fast. Listen. Let's be fucking perfectly honest. Okay, so go that way. So have a look at this. We have a look at this now and say, okay. We've got tension through here. And you can see how his left hip and his right hip quite distinctively different in height. So therefore the pelvis is going to be getting jammed. You can see these dimples, right? These dimples aren't really what we want because what that tells me is he's gripping. He's got tissue that's doing too much. We need that to relax. In other words, instead of his glutes being nice and soft and round and relaxed, he's actually got tension in his pelvis all the time. So we've got to try and change that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of things here now to see if we can change that.
And like you said, so if it's coming at the knee, it can be driven from the pelvis.
Oh yeah,
100%.
absolutely it can be. So if I look at it, and from behind you've got this happening, and you've also got that happening, right?
Yeah.
So if this is happening primarily, I would suggest that whole leg line is being that. Right?
Yeah.
But I know through experience that the pelvis is designed to do this, so if that's the case, I'm going to go to that right lateral hip first to see what we can change.
Yeah.
Alrighty? So, let's get the rollers. Stay there.
Yeah,
jamming up. So I'm the same. My left hip is high, my right hip is low. All my injuries are down my left side. But it's this hip doesn't want to move laterally as much as this hip does. So this is doing too much. That's getting taut, not tight.
Would you think I've compound fractured that leg? So
would you think? I don't think very often.
Yeah. And I reckon this is doing a lot of compensating still from it.
So broken leg, non-broken.
Yeah.
I reckon there's probably about 3 mil.
Yeah.
3 mil in length change.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. So let's do this.
Yep.
We're going to go to the bony section.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah, I'm so interested.
We're not going to the muscular section. Muscular section's cool.
Yeah.
But I want to see what I can change from a bony structure.
Cool.
So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here on that right lateral hip, right onto the top of the bony structure, right?
Yep.
So I want you now. We would generally go to the wall for most people.
Yeah.
But you're an athlete.
Yeah.
And if I go to the wall with you, you're going to laugh at me. Yeah. Right? Because you want to feel what's going on. Okay? So let's lay on the ground. So you're going to lay on your right side.
Yep.
Now, I want it right on the top of that iliac crest.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just going to cross this top leg over, and I'm comfortable. So now what I'm going to do is let all my weight be on the roller. Good. I'm going to roll up, come over the iliac crest, and then I'm going to roll down. And it's just up and down as one. I'm doing 4 rolls. Beautiful. Great work. Now, once I've done 4 rolls, I'm going to shift. I'm going to go where I keep the pressure on the roller, but I'm going to drag forward and I'm going to drag back.
Okay.
And I'm going to drag forward and I'm going to drag back. Over and back is 1. You're doing 4 rolls. That gets pretty intense.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's in the fascial tissue, there's mechanoreceptors that respond to different things: vibration, speed, direction. So this lateral movement's a really important one. Good. Okay, off you come.
Oh, Jesus! Fucking hell!
Really?
I felt like I was going to throw up.
So there's an emotional response to that, right?
Yeah.
It's been there a while. There's some stuff
My father.
Stand up for me.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing about it is, I haven't put you through a movement. I could face that way. And I'm just going to use the locations to see if there's a change.
Yep.
Right? So already there's a change in what's happening through there. Not 100% perfect, but
feel it,
there's already a change. So now we're going to go to the greater trochanter, right? Now I want to address these dimples, but they're more of a, that's called self-osteofascial engagement, what I'm doing on the bony section.
Yeah.
The self-myofascial engagement, or SMR, self-myofascial release that you might know, is when we go to the muscular stuff. But we want to go to the bony stuff, we're just going to play there first, all right?
Yeah, that was already tender.
On the trochanter.
Yeah.
And you're just going to roll up, and we're going to roll down. So what's interesting about the trochanter is it's like the hub of the front wheel. And that hub has all these spokes that run off it. And those spokes just happen to be the fascial tissue that run around the lateral pelvis. Once you've done 4 rolls, then shift. This is wild. It's really wild how much this changes.
I've never felt this before, eh?
Yeah.
With all
Dude.
the deep tissue we do and stuff like that.
But no one talks about the bone, right?
Nah.
And that's me. That's my weirdness. Because I just want to be able to find other ways of getting things to change. Good. Up you hop.
Hop. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Haven't finished yet. That's almost level.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Right. Now we haven't done anything here. We're going to do something over here as well, but we've just done this, right? So now what I want to do is, I might come and I might do this sacrum. And the sacrum's a really interesting place. The reason we're going to do the sacrum is because 1, it's bony, 2, there's lots of tissues that run around the sacrum.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit right on the centre of the sacrum, right?
Yep.
Now what I'm going to roll down to the end of the sacrum and I'm going to roll back up. So once again, get comfortable, feet are comfortable, and I'm just going to roll up to the top of the sacrum, and then I'm going to roll down to the bottom of the sacrum.
Yep.
And then I'm going to roll up and just let the butt relax. Breathe, connect. Good. So what movement was irritating you before?
I'm getting down onto my knees.
Go on your knees.
Like I'm a little bit afraid to It's better for sure. A lot better. Now it's gone into the foot.
Great. Cramping?
Yeah.
Beautiful, because your foot's not used to being in that position, right? So let's go there and see if we can change that. It's cool, right?
Oh, it's awesome.
So let's take this. If you want some stuff, I'll get it for you. Right, what we're going to do is that when we go into a position like this and we start to get cramping, it's just the fact that the tissue isn't used to being in that position.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this knob on the stick, and I'm going to now take the stick and just do some plantar fascia type motion, right? Now once again, I can go into the various areas. You'll know where the most tender spot is or where the most sensitive spot is. So once again, I can roll the stick, but I'm just actually taking my foot forward and foot back, foot forward and foot back, and then I'm shifting across. I can do the front of the ankle, the side of the ankle, the whole lot.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Right where it was like just under a minute.
Beautiful. So if you just hold that there, now all you're going to do is you're just going to shift the foot forward, shift the foot back, shift the foot forward, shift the foot back. 4 times, up and back is 1. Nice and easy. Yeah, it's good. It's
not in the foot.
And we should be able to come back.
Yeah, it's a little bit tender in that outside knee joint for sure.
Which one?
It's just
perfect.
Right there.
All right. So short head of the bicep fem.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Tendinous region there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Right there.
Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 gentle rolls.
Yeah.
Now, you'll find as you roll, there'll probably be a fairly sensitive spot. Now, this is more of a muscular type of region, right? So we're going to do some SME, self-myofascial engagement.
Yeah.
Now, we call it engagement instead of release because there's no science in the world that says we can release tissue.
Yeah. Fuck.
Stop. Now, we're going to compress. I want you to breathe. Core temperature's just gone through.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well,
Your sphincter valve just shrunk.
Just hit a spot.
Really?
Yeah.
It's crazy how much you've done too, you know?
I know.
Stop.
But I feel like I'm on almost nearly on the bone here.
Yeah.
Now, I just want you to gently go left and right. Left and right. Just slow, just slow. See how I'm just turning my foot?
Yep.
And you'll feel how that affects the tissue through there.
Yeah, it's actually painful in the front of the foot.
Yeah. Okay, now.
So you don't want to do this for too long?
No.
Okay.
When I'm on the muscle, I've got about basically 4 rolls.
Yep.
They'll generally be a longer roll because it's self-myofascial engagement. Yep. And then I'll compress for 30 to 60 seconds.
Yep.
And then I'll go and I'll do my 4 shifts.
Yep.
So SME can be not up to 90 seconds. SOE, near the bone, only 30 seconds total.
Okay, cool. Right.
All I want to do here, just bring the feet back here.
Yep.
Beautiful. So all I'm going to do, just breathe, just let it go. Just let it go, mate. Nothing to be frightened of, just let it go, Jakey. Let it go. Okay, can you just gently bring your hips and your back up for me? Nice and easy. Just gently bring your hips and your back up. That's it. And down, and down, and down, and down. Nice and easy. Remember, we're not trying to hurt it, we're just trying to help it. You're going to gently bring the hips up and gently just take them down. Just slow up, just slow down. So you only come up as high as you feel the tension in my fingers. Just gentle. That's it. And then down. Nice and easy. Good. And again. Up you come. Good. Good. So once again, your iliacus and your psoas are stuck together, right?
Yep.
So I'll show you some movements that I'm going to get you to do. And this is your diaphragm. So this is the pattern. This is where it comes from. So we could do this using a soft ball. We could, use this. We just want to get in and get that tissue to move. So if we think about the tissue in the diaphragm, I'm not trying to dig in. I'm trying to I'm pulling that diaphragm because that's going to help the liver. It's going to help the gallbladder. Now those organs have to move up to 3 inches when you breathe.
Wow.
Whoa.
So if I'm stuck, if I'm stuck in my pelvis, can't move, right? So that's where the play is so good because now I can get you to laugh. Now I can get you to breathe. Now I can get you to smile.
That's so good.
So now it starts to change that whole emotional state. Deep front line. Good. You're just going to gently take this femur and reach down for me. And back.
Oh.
And reach down and back. And reach down and back. Nice and easy, mate. Nice and easy. Beautiful. So all I'm doing is creating space. Getting that hip to get some space now. Great work. So once again, can you feel where I am?
Yeah.
Around the bone. I'm not going to the meaty stuff, and I'm going to start from the bone and work my way out.
Yeah.
And I just want to see what that tissue does, because it's the tissue, that tendinous region that tends to get more grungy, right?
It feels, it does feel very grungy next to the bone.
Yeah.
It's so funny you're talking about dimples, right? And literally this morning, like in the bum, this morning in the shower, I was like, I got a right dimple in this. I was like, what is it? And it feels like inhibited. You know what I mean? And I was like, what's doing that? Why does that not build as much? And I could feel the dimple, and the left one doesn't have it. The left one's stronger.
Yeah. It's just that the right one's doing too much. It's turned on. It's almost like a dimmer switch.
Yeah.
The tissue's not just sitting there ready to go. It's a little bit turned on. We've got to try and get that to just let go. That's all I'm doing here. Is I'm taking this tissue now, and that'll happen when you have pain.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I've had a right, don't know, but I can.
I've had a right posterior, so we've got to get these two to move. So the movement that I would give you would be a kneeling hip mobilizer. So from a feel soma perspective, and you'll learn this as you go through and do the immersions and so forth. But from a feel soma perspective, we talk about fluid and tension.
Yeah.
Right. So we look at the body from a neural perspective, a pattern perspective, or mechanical perspective, but we look at the fluid a lot.
Yeah.
As you get now,
yeah,
right?
For sure.
We're going to the bony sections because we've got to shift fluid in the tissue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's those narrow parts of the river that get glued up, or get the trees to fall in it. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm now going to take a movement, and that movement's going to go after the bony structure.
Right. Yeah.
Now, in this position, it's nothing more than the running position, right? So what's interesting is that we say, people say, it's a quad stretch. I'm not stretching the tissue because in this position, I'm not trying to force the tissue. I'm actually just going to introduce some motion. The position already is putting tension into the tissue. I'm just introducing some motion now that enables everything to start to slide and glide. And it just so happens I feel it in that bony structure. Right, so I can reach over as I come forward, I can reach across as I come forward, or I can just gently come forward. There's no problems at all. But you'll feel how it will start to get into various areas. So just go into your right area there. Got your right knee's down. Remember, you're feeling it in your left.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I want to go to my right knee. Perfect.
Yeah.
Take your left foot forward. So you're already going to feel a tension.
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
Yeah.
All I want to do now is I'm just going to let the hips go forward to boom. Now come back. So when you go forward, everything goes forward and come back. Now, just easy, don't force it. There's tension there already, only boom and back. You just want to increase the tension.
Okay.
Because if I try and go too far, you'll actually start to cheat and you'll go out of a mobilizer into a stretch and the tissue's saying, hang on, I don't want that. I'm trying to get this to recognise the pattern that this pelvis has to go into, right? But now I'm going to use this. I could use that table, I could use a chair, it's whatever, right? So if I take my feet, and I'm just thinking now, not necessarily about the fascial lines, but I'm thinking about the pelvic ring. So if I take my feet into that position and I now maintain a flat back, I've got to be able to hinge at the hips, right? Now if I can hinge at the hips, I'm going to put more tension from the hips down through my feet, right? So I'm going to just gently drive back, and I'm going to get you to see how that feels. But then I'm going to take my right foot across. Now, as soon as I take my right foot across, brings me into rotation, right? And lateral flexion. So what I've got now is a situation where this foot's relaxed. I'm now just going to gently drive that pelvis away. Now this starts to really get into here. Now, most people you do this to will actually feel it in the calf and the back of the knee. Because they can't even get past this to get into here. But what I'm really looking for is that lumbar spine and that posterior hip, and that's a really pleasant, nice motion. But you can see how small the movement is and how slow it is.
Okay, cool. So you want me to start like...
So take your feet back behind your hips. That's it. Even back further, mate. Now, just relax here.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, because I had a spondy, I'm so used to having that.
That's
lordosis.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Perfect. Now, just going to straighten the legs.
Yep. Oh. it's already in the back of the knees, like massively.
Perfect. So now just come forward. Beautiful. Now just gently come back. Perfect. That's it, mate. Nice and easy. Now, if that's too easy, put your hands on there.
Yep. Yep.
That's it. Now, pretty comfortable there.
Yeah.
Take that foot across in front of your left. Take your hands across.
Yep.
So this one bends.
Yep.
This one's straight.
Yep.
Now, all you're going to do is let that come back, and you'll feel, and it'll probably be up through here.
It's definitely in the back of the knee. Yeah.
Yep. So as this starts to give, you're going to find it gets up into this region here.
Yep.
So you can see here, Cal. What we're trying to do is, so I don't want to shift, I don't want that to happen. I want this to remain straight, because you can see what it does. It creates space here, and it also creates space in here now. But this whole posterior lateral line right down in through this, so that's the edge of the lateral line, superficial back line, is now having to do this, which is what I wanted to do. It's a really subtle motion. You can feel all through here. Okay, have a walk for me. That's great.
Yeah, that's where it's been feeling sore too, like behind the knee on that outer.
Yep. And that's crazy, right?
I'm walking a new body.
Really?
Oh, it actually feels so weird, eh? Oh.
How free does it feel
I
like,
feel
right?
so free.
And it's so small.
It's integrated. I guess it's integrated stretching, or you'd call that. What do you call that? It's a
Well, I
stretch.
just call it self-fascial mobilization, right? So what I call it is, if we're looking at tissue tension and we don't look at the movement spectrum, right? People don't look at the movement spectrum. Now, what does that mean? Okay, from our perspective, we step back and go, right, speed and force have a reflection on tissue tension. So when you look at the movement spectrum, we've got to look at how much tension we can put into tissue and how much it can mitigate, how much it can share, how much it can take and get rid of. Now, if we can have low speed, low force, we have low tension. So therefore the receptors, the mechanoreceptors go, you're not trying to hurt me, you're trying to help me.
Yeah.
Now I can vary, I can tweak those speeds and I can tweak those forces to create different tensions. That's understanding the movement spectrum. All I'm trying to do with motion initially is create a movement pattern that the body recognises. I'm trying to create more fluid in the tissue to flow so that I don't get a build-up in any of those narrow spaces that creates problems in those rings, ankle, knee, pelvic, shoulder. We've got this situation where the fibula runs down, the tibia runs down, right? Now, that fibula, it has to move, and if it doesn't move, if it doesn't move, it can't drop over this lateral malleoli. This tibia, when it internally rotates, when we pronate, it has to fall towards the medial malleoli. So you've got this spreading of the fib and the tib. If that fib can't get over here, it can't now act as the anchor, which means the interosseous membrane, which negatively accelerates this tibia so it doesn't crash into the ground. So therefore, if it can't move down and lock, then that interosseous membrane can't give like a spring. So when you come in